Clean beauty promises to save you from toxins. But what if the danger isn't in the products? It's in the fear that they're selling you. I'm Heather, a chemistry graduate turned finance director, and someone who once dropped 60 quid on a non-toxic face cream, thinking I was making a smart investment. In this video, I'll show you exactly when clean beauty is worth your money, when it's just shame in a prettier bottle. And because I don't want you wasting another penny, I've made a smart beauty spending guide, a one-page cheat sheet that shows you how to read a label, when to splurge, and when to save. You can grab it in the description below. Here's what we've been told. If it's not clean, it's toxic. You'll see it everywhere. Paraben-free, sulfate-free, non-toxic. Plastered on products like Tata Harper's Waterlock Moisturiser, which goes for 60 quid a jar and slams you with its clean and green promise. I believed it. I spent a small fortune on that bottle, thinking I was safeguarding my skin. I wanted the reassurance that I wasn't exposing myself to hidden toxins. But what I got was the same skin I had before, just a lighter purse and a heavier dose of guilt. That guilt is the real product they're selling. Clean beauty isn't a scientific category, it's a marketing one. There is no law, no universal definition. Sephora has its own Clean at Sephora badge. Credo has a dirty list. Allure has a clean seal, but every list is different. One brand might ban 12 ingredients, another bans 50. There's no agreement because there's no regulation. So what actually gets banned? Usually it's the same headline ingredients: parabens, sulfates, phthalates, silicons, mineral oil, chemical sunscreens. The labels scream paraben-free, sulfate-free, non-toxic, but that doesn't always mean it's safer. Here's what the science actually says. Let's start with the biggest clean beauty villain, parabens. Parabens are preservatives, tiny molecules that stop bacteria and mold from growing in your moisturiser. Without them, your £90 toxin-free cream could turn into a petri dish. Clean beauty says parabens are hormone disruptors, that they mimic estrogen and could cause breast cancer. That sounds terrifying, right? But here's the catch. The studies that sparked these headlines were done in rats, with doses thousands of times higher than you'd ever get in a face cream. The EU Scientific Committee on Consumer Safety reviewed the evidence and concluded parabens are safe at the concentrations that they're used in cosmetics. And here's the irony. When brands banned parabens, they swapped them for alternatives like methyl-isosolanine, which was literally crowned Allergen of the Year by dermatologists. The translation is more rashes and fewer benefits. The simplest way to think about parabens is this. They're the fridge in your kitchen. They keep your food safe until you're ready to eat it. Throw away the fridge because you're scared of electricity, and suddenly you're left with spoiled milk. Now, let's talk about sulfates. These are the foaming agents found in shampoos and cleansers. Sodium lauryl sulfate, SLS, and sodium laureth sulfate, SLES. They're brilliant at lifting oil and dirt, but because they're so good at it, they can also strip natural oils, leaving some people dry and irritated. Clean beauty calls sulfates toxic, but the science says otherwise. They're not toxic, they're just strong cleansers. Think of it as washing up liquid. On greasy plates, it's perfect. On a delicate silk blouse, you've ruined it. So it's safe for most people, but for people who have eczema or sensitive skin, it can be too harsh. So parabens aren't secretly poisoning you. Sulfates aren't toxins in disguise. Clean beauty has taken small kernels of truth. Yes, parabens mimic estrogen in a test tube. Yes, sulfates can dry you out, and they've spun them into fear. What they don't tell you is the actual science. Dose matters. Context matters. And the alternatives aren't always better. Clean beauty isn't about protecting you from toxic chemicals. It's about selling you peace of mind, often at a price tag your skin never needed. Adding ingredients doesn't magically make a product work better. Effectiveness always comes down to the actives inside: vitamin C, retinol, niacinamide, and peptides. And those are not dirty. They're in plenty of conventional products and plenty of clean ones too. Where clean sometimes stumbles is when it avoids the gold standards. For example, retinol is one of the most studied ingredients for fine lines and acne. Some Ultra clean brands skip it because it's synthetic and can be irritating. Instead, they offer Backfired, a plant extract marketed as the natural retinol. The early studies are promising, but nowhere near the decades of data that retinol has. It's like swapping your prescription glasses for a pair of tinted sunglasses. They look nice, but they're not quite the same. Then there's the preservation problem. Every product needs something to stop it going mouldy. Most clean formulas use weaker alternatives to parabens, things like sodium benzoate or potassium sorbate. They work, but not always as broadly or for as long. A dermatology study warned that products without robust preservatives can grow microbes faster, meaning that they expire sooner and even risk infections. That preservative-free claim you see on indie brands, that's not a flex, that's a red flag. And what about how products feel? This is where customers notice trade-offs. Sulfate-free shampoos, gentler but less foam. You might miss that squeaky clean lather. Mineral-only sunscreens, safe, effective, but often leave a white cast. Silicone-free conditioners, kinder to the planet, but your hair won't get that instant glassy slip. Oils and proteins just don't mimic silicone perfectly. None of these are deal breakers, but they are differences you'll feel. But the point is, clean doesn't mean more effective. A well-formulated conventional cream can absolutely outperform a clean one, and vice versa. In fact, dermatologists say that the best products usually mix both worlds. Safe synthetics for stability, plus beneficial naturals for skin support. Ilia Beauty even admits their definition of clean is where the best of natural and safe synthetics collide. So when it comes to results, forget the label, check the formula. Does it have proven actives? Is it preserved properly? Because your skin can't tell if something is clean or dirty. It only knows if it works. Another big reason why people buy clean beauty is the promise it's not just better for you, it's better for the planet. Green, conscious, sustainable. All these buzzwords get wrapped into the idea of clean. And yes, some of that is real. Many clean brands lean hard into sustainability. Glass bottles instead of plastic, recycled packaging, refill systems, organic or fair trade ingredients. Sephora even has a clean and planet positive badge for brands that hit the certain eco goals, like carbon neutrality or ethical sourcing. A brand like Evolve Together will brag about biodegradable packaging. And some clean sunscreens deliberately avoid oxybenzone because it's linked to coral reef damage. Clean beauty also overlaps with ethics. A lot of clean retailers require products to be cruelty-free, and many brands go fully vegan. If animal testing and ethical sourcing matter to you, you'll find plenty of clean labels shouting about it. Transparency is another plus. Brands like Credo actually force companies to list every single fragrance ingredient instead of just hiding them under the word fragrance. And consumers love that. Surveys show most women want to buy clean, but 2/3 still say they don't know what the word even means. Transparency helps rebuild that trust. But, and it's a big but, not every clean brand is a saint, because there's no legal definition. Slapping clean, non-toxic or natural on a product is easy marketing. Sometimes it's greenwashing. A conventional brand launches a clean subline that looks eco-friendly, but it isn't doing anything different behind the scenes. It's like sticking a bamboo lid on a plastic jar and calling it sustainable. So here's the truth. Clean beauty can be a way to vote with your wallet for greener, kinder business practices, but it isn't guaranteed. Some brands really do walk the talk with sustainable sourcing, fair trade, cruelty-free formulas. Others are just talking. The good news is the pressure works. Even big players like Unilever and Procter & Gamble have reformulated products and improved packaging because consumers demanded cleaner choices. So even if you never buy from a boutique clean brand, the movement is pushing the whole industry towards better standards. In other words, clean beauty isn't automatically saving our planet, but the movement is reshaping the industry, and that ripple effect matters. So after all of that, is clean beauty worth it? The truth is, it depends on what you value. If avoiding even the possibility of risky chemicals helps you sleep at night, clean beauty might feel worth it. But remember, mainstream products aren't secretly toxic. Regulators and dermatologists agree parabens, silicons, even sulfates are safe at cosmetic doses. Clean beauty often avoids ingredients that are harmless, which means that you might be paying for peace of mind you already had. A clean label doesn't make a serum or cream more powerful. What works is the active ingredient: retinol, vitamin C, niacinamide, peptides. Those exist in both clean and conventional products. Some clean swaps, like buckyol instead of retinol, are interesting, but not as proven. If your dirty product is delivering results, you don't need to ditch it out of guilt. A £90 toxin-free moisturiser can cost as little as £5 to make. You're often paying for branding, packaging, and that halo of being clean. But the good news, affordable clean options are starting to show up in drugstores now. You don't have to overspend to avoid certain ingredients if that matters to you. Ethics and sustainability is where clean beauty can shine. Some brands really do use recycled packaging, offset carbon, and commit to cruelty-free testing. Supporting them is a way of voting with your wallet. But beware of greenwashing. A bamboo cap on a plastic jar doesn't make it sustainable. For some of us, seeing paraben-free on the label just feels reassuring. For others, knowing the science is enough. Neither is wrong. The point is, you get to choose what makes you feel confident. Clean beauty is like the story of two wells. One is tested, regulated, proven safe. The other is labelled pure spring water with no testing at all. Most people pick the one that sounds safer, even though the tested one was always fine. That's the trap. We end up paying more for the comforting story, not the safer reality. So is clean beauty worth it? Only if it lines up with your skin, your budget, and your values. The label alone doesn't guarantee safety, results, or ethics. What matters is finding products, clean or not, that actually work for you without the fear and the guilt that industry tries to sell. Because at the end of the day, beauty should feel good. And part of that is feeling smart about where you put your money. So if you've ever stood in Boots or Sephora staring at the shelves wondering, what's actually worth my money? I've got you. I put together a free smart beauty spending guide that shows you exactly how to read a label, when to splurge and when to save. The link's below and grab it before your next shop. And if you think that the clean beauty claims were eye-opening, wait until you see what the makeup industry doesn't want you to know.